Hey guys, I'm gonna be reading Little House in the Big Woods. Once upon a time, 60 years ago, a little girl lived in the big woods of Wisconsin in a little gray house made of logs. The great dark trees of the big woods stood all around the house, and beyond them were other trees, and beyond them were more trees. As far as a man could go up to the north, in a day, or a week, or a whole month, there was nothing but woods. There were no houses, there were no roads, there were no people, there were only trees and the wild animals who had their homes among them. Wolves lived in the big woods, and bears, and huge wild cats. Muskrats and mink and otters lived by the streams. Foxes had dens in the hills, and deer roamed everywhere. To the east of the little log house, and to the west, there were miles upon miles of trees, and only a few log houses scattered far apart in the edge of the big woods. So far as the little girl could see, there was only one little house, where she lived with her father, mother, her sister Mary, and baby sister Carrie. A wagon track ran before the house, turning and twisting out of sight, in the woods where the wild animals lived, but the little girl did not know where it went, nor what might be at the end of it. The little girl was named Laura, and she called her father Pa, and her mother Ma. In those days and in that place, children did not say father and mother, nor mamma or papa, as they do now. At night, when Laura lay awake in the trundle bed, she listened and could not hear anything at all but the sound of the trees whispering together. Sometimes far away in the night, a wolf howled, and then came nearer and howled again. It was a scary sound. Laura knew that the wolves could eat little girls, but she was so safe inside the solid log walls. Her father's gun hung over the door, and good old Jack, the brindle bulldog, lay on guard before it. Her father would say, "Go to sleep, Laura. Jack won't let the wolves in." So Laura snuggled under the covers of the trundle bed close to Mary and went to sleep. One night her father picked her up out of bed and carried her to the window so that she might see the wolves. There were two of them sitting in front of the house. They looked like shaggy dogs. They pointed their noses at the big bright moon and howled. Jack paced up and down before the door, growling. The hair stood up on the back of his on his back, and he showed his sharp, fierce teeth to the wolves. They howled but could not get in. The house was a comfortable house. Upstairs there was a large attic, pleasant to play in when the rain drummed on the roof. Downstairs was the small bedroom and the big room. The bedroom had a window that closed with a wooden shutter. The big room had two windows with glass in the panes, and it had two doors, a front door and a back door. All around the house was a crooked rail fence to keep the bears and deer away. In the front yard were two big, beautiful oak trees. Every morning, as soon as she would wake, Laura ran to look out the window, and one morning she saw in each of the big trees a dead deer hanging from a branch. Pa had shot the deer the day before, and when Laura had been asleep, and brought them home at night and hung them high in the trees so the wolves would not eat the meat. That day Pa, Ma, Laura, and Mary had fresh venison for dinner. It was so good that Laura wished they could eat it all. That's all. Thanks for listening.